Good morning, students. Myself, Dr. Usha Vyas. Today, my topic is the institution of the fool. Discuss the important features of the fool feste in Twelfth Night. Is his role indispensable in the play? The institution of the fool. The dramatic fool was a famous institution in medieval times. Almost every noble family had a fool attached to it. He was oftentimes a poor, misshapen, or deformed creature, and that was the butt of the company in his master's house. His business was to amuse his patrons by his buffoonery and idiotic prattle. He excited wit in others rather than purveyed wit in himself. In Shakespeare's dramas, the clown has been lifted above the household buffoon and is represented as one whose part it would be difficult to play without real wit. Now, next is Shakespeare's Feste. The poet has assigned a very peculiar position to the clown. He has brought into several scenes in the phrase the corrupter of words. His part is designed for a singer in Twelfth Night. He appears as a singer by profession, singing with equal skill love songs, both merry and serious. On the whole, he is a very careless and cheerful fellow, spreading mirth all over the company. His wisdom. Paradoxical as it may seem, Shakespeare's fools are remarkable for their wisdom. The fool reminds us that his foolish wisdom is no folly, and that it will be a mistake to call him a fool. The fool throughout the drama illustrates the main idea. The fool is brought into close touch with other characters and is dealing with them. He has to play the difficult role. His sociableness, he knows how to adjust himself to his company, studies their wickedness, their nature, and carefully adapts himself to the mood of the moment. He knows his company well. While speaking to Viola or to Duke, he knows how to beg with grace. While in company of Sir Toby and a merry circle, he shares the irresponsible mirth. On the other hand, he gives no quarter to his enemies. Next point is his independence. He is genuinely devoted to his mistress, but is independent enough to condemn her extravagant grief as well as criticize the love affair between her and Duke. He is shrewd enough to see through the Duke's changeable humor and boldly accuse him of his inconsistency and suggests a remedy to the Duke for the lack of steadiness. The role of the clown. Last point is the role of the clown. Next point, the fool's part may be briefly indicated under the following head. He serves as a convenient connecting link between serious plot and comic side. He plays a very important part not only in enhancing the complication of the story but in revolving around it. He mistakes Sebastian for Viola and humors him into a tip. Feste has the humor of closing the play with an appropriate song, which some critics of Shakespeare treat as highly philosophical. Next point is Feste is the mouthpiece of Shakespeare. The playwright seems to concentrate in Feste all his own love for pure fun. He makes the only cool and consistent character in the play, and thus conveys to us his conviction of the superiority of an observer who has wit, humor, and repartee, burlesque and buffoonery at command, for none but wise men can make fools of themselves. First is only wise man in this paradise of fools. Conclusion. Now we come to the concluding point of this topic. Sir Andrew is a natural fool and Malvolio a conceited fool. There is more of sense in Feste's humorous folly than in wisdom of the so-called wise men. Feste jests his way through all types of grave and gay scenes. He is mentally alert and resourceful. He has an insight into all the characters of the play. He is blessed with intelligent agility. He carries Maria's plot to the bitter and impersonating. He is blessed with intelligent agility. He carries Maria's plot to the bitter end by impersonating as Sir Topas, the priest. Viola is justified when she says about him, "This fellow is wise enough to play the fool." And this is all for today. Thank you for watching.